Hey everyone, it's Cass here again on Transform Your Life, where I teach you how to heal from mental, emotional, and physical disease by becoming aware of what is happening in our society on a large scale, all the way down to a small scale, when it comes to the ways we're showing up from a disordered state. And I teach you how to come into order and ease baby step by baby step by becoming aware of the real world. So the topic of today's video is things don't just get better because you want them to. So I got that line from a scene from The Walking Dead. So spoiler alert to those of you who haven't seen The Walking Dead. I use The Walking Dead a lot to illustrate things that are happening in our society that are keeping us the Walking Dead in real life, because there's a lot of symbolism in the series and a lot of parallels that are happening in our real world now that are keeping us in states of dis-ease. So there's a scene in The Walking Dead where the lead character, Rick, he is addressing the group of people who have been living in Alexandria, who have been sheltered from the real life experience that is a person being out amongst the Walking Dead, the zombies in the series. This group of people that are living behind these walls in Alexandria, where they have been sheltered from the reality of what the world has come to in the series. Rick is addressing them and trying to help them come to terms with what they need to be willing to do and face if they're going to live, okay? If they're going to live. And this is what I'm teaching you here on Transform Your Life. I'm teaching you how to actually live, because we have been socialized in so many ways to show up in the world with patterns of behavior, and also to be programmed with such delusion that we don't actually see what's really going on. And when you combine those two factors, disease is going to be manifest mentally, emotionally, and physically. And it starts with the foundation of the trauma bond. So I want to remind people who are watching my channel that my channel is not for people who are attached to and committed to their delusion, to their comfort, their sense of comfort. It's not for people who want to get clear on what is actually going on around them, who don't have the courage to do so, because I am sharing some incredibly harsh truths, incredibly difficult truths, real world truths here on my channel that we need to talk about and face if we want to come out of being the Walking Dead. Okay, and we want to move toward actually living so that we can enjoy this earthly life as human beings whom it is our birthright to exist on this planet in states of ease and order, so that we are not living in states of mental, emotional, and physical dis-ease, okay? This is what I'm passionate about. I'm so passionate about helping people make these connections to the real world so that they can see it for what it is, so that they can surrender and pivot out and away from dysfunction around them and become aware of the dysfunction inside their own individual self and work step by step to shift that, which will slowly over time heal mental, emotional, and physical dis-ease, thus reversing the aging process over time. Because there is no separation between dis-ease and aging, okay? So I'm going to pause for a moment so that I know where I'm guided, exactly where I'm guided to go next. So I'm being guided to continue to talk about these Walking Dead analogies that I use. So there is a scene in the Walking Dead series. I reference the Walking Dead series a lot when I teach people because there are so many aspects and truths in the Walking Dead series that we can apply to our own lives, that it's what is being said in the series. They are messages to us, okay? Messages to us so that we can make connections and we can draw the parallels to our own lives so that we can learn. And what I do here on Transform Your Life is I teach you, I help you learn, and I teach you how to move towards actually living, because we've been socialized in this society to show up with patterns of behavior and ways of thinking, and we've been programmed with delusion that causes us to stay in states of dis-ease. So in the series, there's a scene where Rick is talking to the people who live in Alexandria, who have never been outside the walls in Alexandria, who have not recognized and faced the truth and the brutal reality of what's actually going on in the world now, that it has been overtaken by a zombie apocalypse, okay? And he's talking to them and he loses his patience with them because he has been someone who has been out in the real world, facing the real world for multiple years. And he knows what it takes in order for someone to live, actually live amongst this reality where they are dealing with a zombie apocalypse. So how I want to apply that today is, he's talking to the people and he's like telling them something along the lines of, help me, Spirit, help me know exactly what he says. You don't just get to hope. You don't get to hope or wish that things will get better. And he says, starting right now, we need to live in the real world. He's talking to them and trying to influence them to be brave enough, to be strong enough to face the real world and what that looks like, and how people are in a state of survival in the series, and what people are capable of, and how disturbed people have become, and what it's like to face the actual walking dead, what it's like to be the living among the walking dead. So how I want to apply that today with you is to just really get real right now and tell you that as I continue to upload content here on my channel, I'm going to be sharing some incredibly traumatic, harsh truths about how disturbed we have become as a human race. And it's gonna sound to a lot of people like what I am talking about is not true. Like, how could that be true? That's too much for my psyche to take. And what I want to encourage people to do is take what I am sharing in pieces. If what I am sharing with you is too much, you can pause and you can take some time to process what I'm saying, and don't feel in a rush to face something that you are not ready to face, and take it in stride and take it in pieces, okay? Because this, what I am sharing with you guys, and the tools and the steps that one will need to the tools one will need to apply, the steps one will need to take in order to heal are incredibly difficult, and this is an extreme understatement. So what I want to encourage you to do is to, if you are feeling overwhelmed, with what I'm saying, that's totally normal, and you can take a pause. You can take a break from what I am saying, and you can take this journey of healing at your own pace, okay? Because I can't force this knowledge onto your psyche and have your brain process what I'm saying until it is safe and okay with your brain and psyche to really interpret and process what I'm saying. So this is also, another warning to those of you who are following my channel to be gentle and kind with yourself in this process, because it takes a lot of courage. It takes a warrior to really face what I am talking about here on Transform Your Life and be brave enough to take the steps one needs to take in order to transform and heal, okay? So let me pause. Back to the scene where Rick is saying, things don't just get better because you want them to get better. So I want to apply that to what is happening in our global society, where we are conditioned as a human race to hope, to pray, to wish for things to get better, and we think they're going to because we want them to. But that's not actually how the real world works. In order for us to actually have transformational results that we can see, in order for us to experience that beautiful incentive where we are seeing changes and shifts over time that we can get excited about, we have to move from that state of being where we are wanting things to get better and we think that things are going to get better just because we want them to, and move towards that courage and bravery of being willing to challenge and question everything it is that we see, how we interpret the world, how we interpret the true nature of human beings, and be willing to make room for the fact that we may have been mistaken when it comes to how human beings actually show up in the world. And I'm here to tell you that human beings actually show up in the world to dominate and win at all costs. Human beings show up in the world to most human beings, okay, show up in the world to exploit each other for their own personal gain, and also to exploit all living sentient beings on this planet for their own personal gain. And when we do that, when we show up in the world that way, there is a karmic reaction that occurs. There is a law of cause and effect that occurs. And this is how we slowly become the walking dead over time, where we're moving away from life and our biology, our cellular biology, and the tissues in our body and organs being able to function healthily. When we show up to be exploitative and all those things I mentioned, we are moving away from our body being able to function at its most optimal state. And when we are programmed to be on the receiving end of that exploitation and be codependent and be a source of supply, we also slowly die in dis-ease. So what I want to encourage you to do, what I'm being guided right now to share with you guys, is to go to George Simon's work. Type in George Simon on YouTube, okay? And he is talking about narcissism, the true nature of human beings on an interpersonal level, and how we have become a human race who is functioning from a disordered state that is disturbed character, okay? These are his terms that he uses, and what I'm doing here on Transform Your Life is I'm building upon his work and the work of other leading researchers and scientists. I am building upon their work to help us come back into an ordered state where we are at ease and we treat each other and all living beings with love, dignity, and respect, including ourselves, right? Because we have to learn how to treat ourselves with love, dignity, and respect, because we are not taught how to do that in this narcissistic pandemic that we live in. So again, when you're done here with my video, go to YouTube, look up George Simon, and he has videos on YouTube that you can listen to. He also has books that you can read where he's really broken it down in a way that anyone can understand when it comes to understanding the true nature of human beings. This is really important that we face the true nature of human beings, and that most of us fall on the disturbed side of the spectrum. We have been a species that has a human race that has allowed ourselves to fall on a disturbed side of the spectrum when it comes to how we show up in the world with each other and others. And in order for us to heal, we have to face the truth of that reality and what that looks like. And so what I want you to start with is going to his work and start learning about what he is talking about, because I am going to build upon it when it comes to mental, emotional, and physical dis-ease, so that you can have a better quality of life. You can totally transform your quality of life by seeing things for what they really are, so you can extract yourself from it and stop enabling it and stop accepting it. Okay? So that's what I have to share with you today, and I will continue